Oftentimes when introducing my new students to the harp, the thing that they find most difficult would be this strict technique that the harp requires to play clean and quickly. Most students are going to find that it's a little unnatural feeling at first, but with constant practice and reinforcement, they will be able to get these simple exercises down to maintain their techniques. Now, first, before we get into this quick tutorial, there are 3 different techniques of harp that are very predominant in harp playing. There's going to be the traditional French style, we're going to have the Salzedo style, or the Grand Genie style. Now, with Salzedo style playing, the most important thing to remember is to keep your thumb up. And the saying goes to keep your thumb up and your fingers will never let you down. Now, that means that your thumb is going to be curved like so in a very natural position. It's not going to be hunched over, but just a natural position how your finger relaxes. Now, with the wrist, it's going to be pushed in. This joint here is going to be pushed out, which goes back to that curve thing. And then your elbow is going to be up and your arm is going to be parallel to the floor in a very relaxed position. Everything with harp playing has to be very relaxed or tension builds very quickly. Your shoulders are going to remain down. Your fingers are going to point slightly downward just because of the angle. Now, with your right arm, it's going to be the exact same, but you need to really be careful of the shoulder wanting to raise up and become more tense because of how this the angle of the harp playing with the right hand is going to extend up higher, so the shoulder is going to naturally raise up. But that's going to create tension in your neck and your back. And with harp playing, it's supposed to look very effortless and very natural. Now, tension is going to build very quickly when you're playing. So when we play a simple chord, you're going to want to have the quick wrist back and raise up. It's all a very quick motion. And with that, it's going to release the tension that's going to be building up in your arm. More tension is going to come into your arms and your fingers when you're playing quick technical things. And so it's very important when you're practicing and learning a piece to learn it very slowly and exaggerate that quick wrist and raise up. Without that, you're not going to be able to get through a piece because your arms are going to get very tired, your shoulders are going to get tense, the fatigue is going to set in. That's why it's really important to follow a very strict technique. That way everything is consistent across the board, you can get a consistent tone, and you can erase that tension as much as you can. It's a lot to remember at first, but over time you're able to get this is one motion that you're very comfortable with and used to. There's several other things that the harp can do. It goes across the board with several things. We always muffle. For example, if a piano was to use their pedal to create the resonant tone throughout, that's what the harp would sound like all the time. So that's why it's important to muffle after you play, because it provides clarity for the piece so the notes don't sound completely muddled. Versus which is much more resonant. Now, there's other things that are really cool that the harp can do. For example, we can create cool things like the sound of a whammy bar that you would hear on a guitar, or you can sound more like a guitar sound by plucking down below right at the base of the strings. Or you can hold down the base of the strings like so. Just cool techniques like that are used for special effects throughout several pieces. But the traditional Salzedo technique and the basics are what really need to be focused on at the beginning.